All right, let's jump right into this. Today's explainer is taking us on an incredibly inspiring journey. We're starting way up in the rugged, breathtaking mountains of India and winding up out of all things, an unexpected technological marvel. Welcome to The Breakdown, where we're unpacking a fascinating source that documents a true, hidden oasis of education. Now, I want you to keep one big question in the back of your mind as we go through this, because this story completely flips our expectations of rural education. Look, when we think of village schools, we usually picture underfunded classrooms, right? Outdated textbooks, maybe a leaky roof. But what if I told you a public school in a deeply remote, mountainous region is actually outperforming and literally drawing students away from expensive private institutions? Section 1, A Morning in the Mountains. We start off with a seriously grueling morning trek. The source documents this challenging hike through super dense mountain foliage. The terrain is steep. It requires serious effort just to navigate. But, it's also incredibly vibrant. It's dotted with all these wild, fresh fruits. The locals are trekking up to pick fresh plums, peaches, apples, and that seasonal wild berry known as kafal. It paints this picture of a wildly beautiful yet highly isolated and rugged environment that is far, far removed from urban convenience. And this little detail brilliantly captures the sheer human determination it takes just to get around out here. The vlog we're analyzing highlights a mother who, despite having a knee replacement, scales these steep hills without even losing her breath. That physical grit perfectly mirrors the resilient spirit of the community we're about to see. It's a community that absolutely overcomes massive geographical hurdles to build something extraordinary. Section 2. A Unique Government School. 1939. That is the year the Narayan Swamy Rajki Inter-College in Talaramgarh was originally built. This roots the institution in some pretty deep history. It's an old, established government school. But as we're about to see, that history is really just the foundation for a deeply modern transformation. So here is the crucial point, these staggering contrasts between what you'd expect and what's actually there. Instead of the standard rural model, rote learning and super limited subjects, Narayan Swamy features custom digital pacing, hands-on mechatronics, and get this, students even independently learning the Japanese language. Section 3. Modern Labs and Technology. We're talking about state-of-the-art facilities that you would be hard-pressed to find in elite urban institutions, let alone a remote mountain village. They have a dedicated digital lab where every single student is registered. Fully stocked chemistry and physics labs where students are mixing oxalic acid and studying electrical resistance. They've got dedicated spaces for mechatronics, modern agriculture, and an actual, literal lab for building robots and drones. No way, right? Now, this is absolutely fascinating. It's a complete role reversal. Usually, parents in villages scrape together whatever they can to pull their kids out of government schools to send them to private ones. Here, the exact opposite is happening. At 6 p.m., private school kids are actually flocking to this government school for evening coaching and to get access to these advanced digital facilities. It's a phenomenal reverse commute that just proves the undeniable quality of education being offered here. So how does this digital lab actually operate? Well, technology here truly democratizes learning. Every student logs into their personal profile, pops on a pair of headphones to eliminate distractions, and learns entirely at their own independent pace. Think about that. If a 6th grader wants to push ahead, they can master 8th grade math. Conversely, if an older student has some academic backlogs, they can privately and comfortably repeat fundamental lessons until it just clicks for them. It completely removes the pressure of the traditional classroom setting. You're probably wondering, how on earth is this financially possible? Well, the magic here is the immense community and philanthropic support pouring in from all across the country. The digital lab and the teacher salaries? Sponsored by a local family and their friends. The chemistry lab was funded by the Madhuban Ashram over in Delhi. The physics lab and some absolutely crucial exterior renovations were sponsored by the Light of Life Trust all the way from Mumbai. It's basically a decentralized, community-driven masterclass in school funding. And it's not all just high-tech gadgets either. Basic structural sponsorships literally changed these kids' daily lives. Before the external funding, the school grounds were just wide open to the wild. Stray animals would wander right in, which meant students frequently had to clean up cow dung before they could even play sports. But after the sponsorship provided secure fencing, the grounds completely transformed from an animal pasture into a pristine, safe, dedicated sports environment. Section 4. Big Dreams of the Children.
Thanks to all this exposure, these kids are dreaming light years beyond their geographical boundaries. When they're asked what they want to be, the answers aren't limited by their rural setting at all. They confidently declare they want to be businessmen, scientists, and fashion designers. And the best part is, the school is treating these ambitions not as pipe dreams, but as actual executable career paths. And they aren't just reading dusty textbooks about these careers either. The source material shows incredibly practical, hands-on training. You've got middle schoolers actively taking systolic and diastolic blood pressure readings, getting precise numbers like 123/78, using real medical equipment. Just down the hall, other students are physically assembling the metal chassis and wiring up the motors for custom robots. They are truly learning by doing. The transformation of the school's library perfectly captures this whole metamorphosis. What was once described as an absolute ruin, a literal handar, is now a pristine, vibrant digital workspace, packed with computers, clean desks, colorful reading nooks. Honestly, it looks more like a modern tech startup office than a remote village schoolroom. Inside that library, there's actually a dedicated career wall mapping out incredibly progressive futures. Sure, they map out traditional routes like industrial training, but those sit right alongside fashion, modern agriculture, hospitality, and even blogging and content creation. It just proves to these students that modern digital skills are just as validated and achievable as traditional sciences.
Section 5. Support for the future.
This really highlights how local initiatives, fueled by external support, can build a profoundly sustainable model for success. The source leaves us with this incredible quote: "This is our future, and helping our future is our dharma, our duty." Visiting creators are even offering their digital course material entirely for free to these students. It just shows that when individuals, charities, and the public sector actually collaborate, the impossible becomes standard practice. I want to leave you with this final thought today. If a mountain village, one that requires a grueling trek just to source local fruit, can completely redefine the standards of public schooling, imagine what we could achieve if we replicated this exact model nationwide. If we treated every single public school student's potential as limitless, how drastically would that shape our future? Think about it. Thanks so much for joining me on today's Explainer, and as always, keep learning.